this company, this business, this sport is in a boom period like never before, and it's all built on your back. You make every town, you make every country, you make every continent. You truly are the quarterback of this operation.
That's brilliant.
What is going on? Welcome to No Chill Promos. How y'all doing? Hope out on a blessed Friday if you're watching this. Before I get into this week's review for Monday Night Raw, I just want to do a quick shout out to all subscribers to the channel and to the followers on Rumble. Now at 259. And my goodness, because at this rate, I'll reach 300 in no time. And once I reach 300, I'll do my run through 5 favorite female wrestlers of all time. The ladies should have gone on first anyway, but hey, my apologies. You know, I am a gentleman. Alright, don't get it twisted. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it, but nonetheless, thank you to everyone that has been subbing this past few days. Since Sunday. Crazy. My fucking the Hurt Syndicate video is still getting views. Hot damn. It's creeping up on 6K. I'm that's nuts. Oh man, that's just shit I want to see. There's a lot of shit that I would like to see that they ain't doing. Alright, so I'll get to those videos one at a time, you know what I mean? Thank you. I thank you for all the ones that watched the whole way, you know what I mean? And, left comments, liking it. Thank you. That's all I want at the end of the day. Enough about that. Let's get into this review, because I know I'm late. This is an extremely late Raw review, but the good thing is only 2 hours, so it's one less hour of garbage. So it will take a little less time for me to dissect this show segment by match, by segment, by segment, by match. You know what I mean? Breaking down this entire garbage-ass show. Fucking abysmal. Well, we'll get to that later on. But let's not wasting more time, let's get into it. So to start off, they do the same shit that they do every single fucking week, where we just see random best wrestlers who are going to be appearing on the show, just walking in, just talking amongst each other, or not talking at all. They're just walking. I mean, just think about how fucking lazy, just complacent that is. It's yeah, we're just gonna have the wrestlers walk in, and the fans being the marks that they are, they're gonna lose their shit every single time. Ugh. That's what's the logic in doing this? I don't understand. It just comes off as more copy-paste, cheap, lazy bullshit. That's all it is. But first we see the current tag team champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, looking beautiful as always. And next, we see the birth control of Io Sky and Kairi Sane. They're looking beautiful as well. Moving on, we see the Ranger, Gunther, and Ludwig Kaiser. I guess he's driving a fucking Porsche or a Lambo or Bugatti. I don't fucking know, and I don't care. I don't give a shit about sports cars, because I'll never, ever a day in my life am I going to drive any of those vehicles. So why would I care? Alright, I'm just saying, that's just my perspective on it. Next, we see Cody Perez looking like an assistant coach for a junior football league team that nobody has never heard of. Just look at this fucking guy, man. Immediately, I got annoyed. So I'm alright, this show's already going to be complete and absolute garbage. Off rip. Just look at this fucking schmuck right here. Coming off his bus. I'm not going to knock him from the bus. Alright, because Randy Orton has a bus and John Cena had a bus, even though he's not on their levels by any means. But if I was a wrestler I would invest in the tour bus as well. Not gonna lie. Alright, so I'm not gonna knock him for that. But I'm knocking him for the way he looks. Look at this fucking dude. He's supposed to be the face of the WWE. And you got fucking dickheads out here talking about, oh, look at Cody Rhodes' aura, man. Like, this dude's so fucking cool. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't say that shit without laughing because I'm like, you can't take people like that serious. Because I see these dorks, these dweebs online that will gratuitously defend this asshole no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, if I see anyone disrespecting Cody Rhodes, I'm gonna stand up and defend him. I'm like, yo, get his nuts out your mouth, nigga. You know, I'll be like, stop dick riding. Stop it. Just stop it. Alright, you're you're supposed to be a grown ass man worshiping this fucking dude that doesn't give two fucks about you. Really. Even though he tries to pretend like he's the man of the people. You know, the people's champion. Even though he doesn't wrestle. Oh, but he wrestles on house shows. Well, house shows aren't televised. At which they're going to be doing less house shows as it is moving forward. Alright, so the only people who care about house shows are people in attendance. Which I am not. So therefore, I do not give two fucks. This show manages to irritate me in under 5 minutes. Just watching this ass clown coming out. I'm like, where the fuck's your championship that you wanna hold in such regard and reverence and prestige? I'll never understand how people can take this dude serious. I can't do it. This dude is just a professional parasite. He's a fucking leech. But more on that later. Don't worry, I got a fucking rant coming. It's one of the worst segments I ever seen in pro wrestling. Alright, but I'll get to that later on. But next we see this bloody Rhea Ripley. Alright, she's walking towards the grill position, tells the cameraman to follow her. So that means we're getting a Rhea Ripley promo. Yippee. Oh man. But she comes out, she cuts a promo, which was good because it was short, sweet, and to the point. Alright, the less Rhea has to say, the better. But she says that she's not done with Liv and the Judgment Day, and that it's not going to stop until she gets back the title that she never lost in the first place, and that's the Raw Women's Championship. So get your ass out here so I can kick both you and Raquel's asses. That's what she said here. Next you see old Tiffy time, Tiffany Stratton. She comes out, and I was thinking about this shit when she was holding up the briefcase. I'm like, last time I checked, whoever wins the Money in the Bank briefcase can cash in on whatever champion he or she wants. So why is it that we've yet to see any interaction between like her and Liv Morgan? That would be something new and interesting to see, but we don't get new and interesting. No, we don't get that. We just get rehashed shit that's already been done. Like, I guess apparently she's like a lapdog or flunky to old Nia Jax. They're gonna go with the whole story of Nia treating Tiffany like complete garbage. Tiffany, she gets fed up, and it'll come at some point to where either she announces that she's challenging Nia Jax straight up one-on-one for the SmackDown Women's Championship, or she waits till after a grueling match that Nia barely wins for Tiffany to swoop on in, cash in right then and there, and then you have the new SmackDown Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton. Alright. And so you have people that just arbitrarily show up in whatever fucking show that they so please. It would make fucking sense that the one exception to that rule should be the Money in the Bank holder. Alright? I'm just saying. But we don't get that. We're not going to get cool shit like that. But yeah, Tiffany comes out. She says she has a message to deliver from Nia Jax. She tells Rhea to stay the fuck out of her way. And if she doesn't, there's going to be a problem. A big, massive, humongous problem. Alright, Rhea then says, like, look, I ain't got time for your horse shit. I don't give a fuck about you. Alright, if you want to stay on my show, then there's going to be a problem right now. Alright, then she, Liv, and Raquel, they come out and attack both Rhea and Tiffany. Raquel hits some shitty looking like face buster to Tiffany. She then hits a big boot to Rhea, and then we see Liv just laughing at both of them. And that's how the segment ends. So it's good to see Braun Strowman's ex back here on Raw. You know, I'm glad that she's doing better. Glad that she's healthy, because I know she had some medical issues last year or earlier this year. Yeah, she's been out for a minute. That's all I know. But it is good to see her back. But my question is, why is she teaming up with Liv, but not going after Liv, who's the Raw Women's Champion? It's like, do none of these women on Raw want to be the Raw Women's Champion? Like, only Rhea? Like, that's what they're presenting here every single fucking week. That only Rhea, you know, wants to go after Liv. Nobody else. Not Indy Hartwell, not Katana Chance, not Kaden Carter, not Lyra Valkyria, not Natalia, and whoever the fuck else. Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark. None of them want to go after Liv Morgan. Just Rhea. Alright, people wonder why this shit sucks. Alright, because you're not doing shit with your women's roster. You're not. Like, Raw easily, more times than not, is one of the worst shows I watch or have to review weekly. It is. It's not even close. Alright, there's some times where AEW outdoes them and shittiness and just goofiness in general, but more times than not, it's Raw that's usually the worst because of this garbage, lazy ass booking like this. But I digress. Let's move on. Next, we see Rhea backstage. She's talking to Adam Pearce. She was like, "Look, I want to get my hands on both Liv and Raquel tonight." Adam looks at her like, "You're fucking crazy if you think you're going to do a 2v1 tonight. So your ass needs to find yourself a tag team partner." Right? And she was like, "Well, no one wants to tag with me. No one likes me." Adam was like, "That ain't my problem. I'll need to go find a partner." Then we see Tiffany Tom showing up, and she was like, "Adam, what the fuck was that? You know, this would never, ever would have happened if Nick Aldis was in charge." In the way Adam looks at Tiffany here, he had himself a Booker T moment to where it's like,
"Tell me she didn't just say that. Oh, hell no."
You know, he like, so he looks over to Rhea and he was like, "What about her?" And Rhea was like, "Fine." So we get the tag team match of Rhea and Tiffany versus Liv and Raquel in the main event that even Stevie Wonder could see coming. So we move on. Next, we get the Women's Tag Team Championship match between Jade and Bianca versus Birth Control for the 500th time. Alright, and ringside we see the lovely, the sexy Last Legend and Jakara Jackson. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real. No, man. I gotta say it every time. So yeah, they're out there by ringside, and let me tell you, this tag team match was like one of the only good things that happened on this show. I mean, sad as that is. But we're gonna fast forward. We see Bianca and Jade. They do like a double pop up to Io there, just throw her ass up into the air. We fast forward. We see Kairi Sane. She does a diving crossbody to Jade onto the outside. Fast forward again. We see Bianca hit the gore. She had one. That was a good ass fucking spear that she hit on Io there. And I think that's the first time I've seen Bianca do that. I know spear is overused, a lot of people use it, but the EST has a good ass spear. That's all I'm saying. So fast forward, we see Kairi tries to lock in the sleeper hold to Jade Cargill, but she gets out of it. Fast forward, she then hits like a swinging backbreaker to Kairi here. Fast forward again, she hits a power bomb for 2 count. Fast forward, Jade tries to go for like a kind of like a dominator using Bianca onto Io, but Io moves out the way. Now mind you, Jade can see clear as day that Io is moving out the way, but yet she still proceeds to hit the dominator on Bianca and then be like, oh, I'm so sorry, sweetheart, my bad, that's my fault. Like, yeah, it is. It is your fault. You know what the fuck you were doing. You ain't slick. I seen that shit. But fast forward to see Io hits a springboard shotgun dropkick to Bianca here. Fast forward again. This was probably the best move of the match. To where I never seen this before. To where like Io like pops up Kairi for her to do like a modified insane elbow mid-air to Bianca. I'm like, yo, that was sick. No, wait, that was sick. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Fast forward, we see Bianca and Jade, they toss Kairi into the barricade, and then we see them arguing with Flash and Jakara. And I'm just thinking to myself, it's like, I wonder what the charlatan himself, Dr. Umar, would say if you show him this clip. He'd be like, there's enough black on black violence in the world, my sisters, so my beautiful queens, we need to come together as a people. You would say some shit like that, you know? Now, the only problem I have with this is the fact that they're not on equal footing, meaning that Lash and Jakar, they're going to come up. And right now, more times than not, they're jobbers down at NXT. So, you know, I guess they're getting called up to SmackDown or whatever. I don't know. All right. But it's like, you got these two rookies going up against two of your presented stars here on Raw. All right. So it's like anyone with common sense would see that Lash and Jakar have no chance, like no chance in hell of going over on Jade and Bianca here. So it's like, why even do it? Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see these sexy ass women on Raw. But I'm like, if they're not going to be elevated after this so-called feud with Jade and Bianca, then what the fuck was the point? That's all I'm saying. But I digress. Alright, so moving on, we see Io shits kind of like a springboard moonsault outside to both Jade and Bianca. We fast forward to see Io confronts Lash and Jakara. She tells him in Japanese to mind your own fucking business, sit down, shut up, and like it. I don't know what she said here, but Jakara grabs Io's hair, then Lash does a forearm to Io. She goes stumbling back into the ring. See Bianca picks her up for like a suplex position, but then changes it into the KOD. That was a superb finish. And still, the Raw Women's Champions, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Now, if only the women's division could put on more tag team bangers like this match right here, then it wouldn't be an issue. I wouldn't have an issue with the women's tag team titles. But I'm still going to do that video, going more into detail why they need to just retire these belts for good with a way better alternative, which I've heard is in the works anyway, but I'm still going to do that video. But at some point, but I got to play catch up here this week because I'm way behind. But yeah, this was a great tag team match. A lot of eye candy in this match. You know, no complaints here. All right, wish we got more of this type of shit right here. But moving on, we see the Street Trash, aka the Judgment Day of Finn Balor and JD McDonough. Or they're talking to Adam Pearce. Finn was like, "Oh, hey, Adam, perfect timing. I want to know, when am I getting my rematch with Damian?" Adam says, "You're not getting no rematch. You lost because you're a jobber. You suck. What you need to worry about is your obligations as a tag team champions." JD was like, "Obligations?" It's like, yes, you asshole. Wait, obligations. It's like, what's with these champions not defending their belts hardly? You know, they just use it as fucking props. Like, what happened to the 30-day stipulation to where if you don't defend your belts within those days, your ass has to vacate that fucking belt? Why is it that TNA can adhere to that stipulation for all their champions, but the WWE can't? Or they just choose not to. They pick and choose. You know, they have, I guess champions have special privileges. Or the same people to whenever they eventually lose that title, they can just invoke their rematch clause. And it's like, oh, it's funny, you can have a rematch, but certain champions don't. Yeah, that makes perfect fucking sense, doesn't it? But Adam says, "I'm creating a tournament to determine the number one contender for your tag team belts." Finn was like, "I'm not doing with Damian. I want Damian now." Adam was like, "I don't give a fuck." Or you're going to defend those belts. That's your focus from now on. JD was like, "You think we're scared?" Adam was like, "You should be." He walks away. Then we see the rest of Street Trash walking up, and Liv was like, "So, when's your rematch for Damian?" It was like, you were like less than 2 feet away from the conversation. I'm sure you heard everything that was said. Why are you asking a question that you already know the answer to? It's like, who the fuck is writing this material? Alright, and I already know you got Triple H, the Croc, who signs off on this. It's like, how can you just see this shit and be like,
"Yeah, guys, this is it. I love it. Good shit from everyone. The crowd, the people at home are gonna love it." Ugh.
like, terrible. It's just fucking terrible, man. Finn says not good, walks away. And then Liv introduces Raquel to, I guess, Judgment Day. I guess she's now an official member. And Carlito drops his apple, looking like he's never talked to a woman a day in his life. And I'm like, that's not cool. Like, how the fuck you make Carlito not cool anymore? My goodness. Only Triple H can do that. He keeps on saying every week, this is the Triple H era. Ugh. So all the minuscule amount of good, all the vast amount of bad that happens on these shows, all right, Triple H gets the credit and the blame for all of it. That's how it goes. But yeah, Carlito ends up looking like a complete dork. Looks like a 45-year-old virgin out there not knowing how to talk to Raquel Rodriguez. Or Gonzalez, or what the fuck her name is. I don't know. Don't care. That's all that happened here. So we move on. Next, we get a promo package for American Made, saying the same shit that they said about 4 weeks ago. Moving on, we see another video package for LeBron Breaker, who says the same shit that he said 4 weeks ago. And I'm like, what the fuck was the point in having him, confront the Ranger Gupta just for him to go right the fuck back to Jey Uso? Well, that's what happened here, so we move on. Next, we get an outside interview with Adam Pearce and the top dog, Big Bronson Reed, for some random ass reason. Adam was like, look, I have nothing but respect for you, but like, week after week after week, you be causing all this fucking pandemonium, attacking referees and security. You almost killed Braun Strowman last week. And look, I know you want the match against Rollins, right? But I can't have you going out there and killing my top talent. Bronson then says, sorry, not sorry, Pierce. I told you weeks ago that I'm ready to move up and be in the main event. So that's why everything that I did was justified up until this point. I would have been the last monster standing if it wasn't for Rollins. So I want the match. That's all that happened here. So we move on. Next, we get the return of the Viking Raiders, but now they're the War Raiders, which still sucks because I want to see War Machine, a badass tag team from ROH. Back when Raymond Rowe he did like that full Nelson, picks him up, and then the smashes the back of their head with his knee. This a nasty finisher he used to do. Wish he brought that back. But yeah, I miss War Machine. But I'm glad to see Eric back. So you got Eric and Ivar, I think that's their names. But they basically squash Akira Tozawa and Otis to Alpha Academy. Even though why they're so called Alpha Academy is beyond me, because Chad Gable is no longer there. But War Raiders hit their new tag team finisher, the Fallout, which is kind of like a release back suplex mid-air into a diving body splash from Ivar for the 1, 2, 3. Sick finisher. They went over as they should, and they should win the tag team belts because fucking Finn and JD ain't doing jack shit with those belts. So why the fuck not? So that happened here, so we move on. Next, we see Seth cuckold Rollins talking with Adam Pearce backstage. Adam was like, look, man, Bronson wants a match, but here's the problem. Like, you only had 6 matches this year, and you've been hurt for all of them. Rollins was like, look, Adam, you know better than anybody that injuries are a part of the game, and you got to work through those injuries to get to that mountaintop. That mountaintop where I'm at right now. Which, no, you're not. No, you're not. You gave up your spot to fucking Cody Perez when you decided to cut that cringe-ass promo and be like, Cody, I want to be your shield against Roman and the Bloodline. Ever since then, I lost all respect, kayfabe-wise, for Seth cuckold Rollins. That's why I call him a cuck, because that's exactly what the fuck he look like. Like, you know you're better than Cody. Why the fuck are you giving up your spot that you should have been in to him? So I don't give a fuck what Rollins has to say here. Right? Why don't you take notes from your wife Becky, who knows how to pick her spots. She knows how long she needs to stay away and when she needs to come back. And that's a problem with Rollins. Or he's back too fucking soon. We all know you're not 100%, so why don't you take the time out to get the surgeries that you need to fix your body, so you can take time, be a father to your family, be a loving husband to Becky. You can go to wherever fucking baseball, college football game that you want to, you go dress like fucking Chronicles of Narnia, Shrek, you know, all fucking Harry Potter, where the fuck you want to dress up as. All right, keep your ass away from the ring until you're like at least 90%, maybe 80, hell, even 80%. But right now, this dude's operating at like a good 55%, if I had to guess. All right, and I said this before. All right, all the shit that Bronson did ain't gonna matter because he's gonna lose to Rollins because they want to get back to Rollins versus CM Punk, who wants to bury Drew and then take time off. Like, what the fuck is the point of him going over if he's just gonna leave? You know what I mean? Like, I hate this show. I do hate it, but I do this shit for you guys, man. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be bothered to watch this garbage. But yeah, that's all that happened here in this fucking segment, so we move on. And now we move on to one of the worst segments of all time in professional wrestling. Alright, let me change up the music because there's going to be a whole lot of ranting going on here. There is so much dick riding and glazing going on in this one segment, like in under like 10 minutes. It's like astronomically insane. But we get a promo from one of the worst world champions of any company of all time, Cody Perez. He comes out, you know, crowd chants the whole sing-along ass overrated theme song that is the Kingdom. It goes like 1, 2, 3, whoa! That's all the crowd cares about because they want to feel some type of attachment to this dead-ass show. But we see Cody Perez looking out into the crowd where you can hear the piped-in chants of Cody, Cody, Cody. Because best believe they will use any trick in their playbook to gaslight gullible idiots into believing this facade, this illusion that Cody Rhodes is his all-time main eventer, like he's just one of the biggest stars in the company's history, which is complete bullshit. And you got people who just defend this dude, like I said earlier, talking about, oh, you know, people said they were going to turn on Cody. They have. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? They have. All right, you're not going to really see that on the shows because they're doing everything within their power to, you know, mitigate that. Hence the piped in chants. But you have less, you got Raw and SmackDown getting their lowest ratings and viewership ever. And guess who's the face right now? Cody fucking Rhodes. Alright? There's a direct correlation between the two. Unless your cognitive dissonance is in full effect, or you have Stockholm Syndrome to where you can't believe the fact. Truth. That Cody Rhodes is 110% absolutely unequivocally garbage as the face of the WWE, as their world champion. He's not that guy. But people will still defend him, being like, oh, well, they're still making money with Cody at top. Clearly there's money to be made. It's like, yeah, no shit, they're a gigantic corporation. They're going to make money and generate revenue regardless because they are a global phenomenon. Because the problem is that they could be making so much more money if they push the right talent without having to resort to overinflating their ticket prices for their mediocre ass shows. Alright, all you gotta do is just push the right people and put on a good product. If they did that, they wouldn't have to resort to these underhanded tactics such as like giving out free tickets just to fill up seats. Because they need seat fillers because they want to create this illusion that, oh, WWE is better than ever, which we all know that's not the case. But I digress. So getting back to Cody Perez, then cuts a pandering ass promo talking about how he's a wrestling traditionalist and how he's immensely proud to be in this rich city with all its rich history, and how not too long ago there was something very important that happened to me in this very city. Alright, and crowd didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, so he piped into, we want Cody, we want Cody, and the crowd picked up on it like, oh, that's what he's talking about, and then the crowd starts to chant, we want Cody, and the crowd's like, yeah, like, that's right. This is where, here in St. Louis, the we want Cody chant started. Then he tries to act like he has charisma. He'd be like, so, St. Louis, what do you guys want to talk about? I'm like, man, I hate the way this dude looks. I hate his voice. I hate the way he talks. It's so insufferable. Can't stand this fucking dude, man. And like, I'm surprised. Like, it takes a lot to surpass my hatred for Cena, but this dude makes Cena look like Stone Cold Steve Austin out there. And I didn't know it was St. Louis to where that We Want Cody shit started. I'm like, no wonder I don't like St. Louis. I've been to St. Louis before. It sucks. Oh, it makes sense now. But before he could continue kissing ass and sucking dick out there, we see a ring general Gunther coming out. And I'm like, now is your time to shine. You want me to fully support you? You need to go out there and verbally dismantle this C+ player right here. But does he do that? Nah. He comes out here to glaze his asshole even more. Before he left career position, Triple H talked to him. He's like,
Look, Gunther, before you go out there, I want to reiterate that you need to go out there and you need to make Cody look good. As much as I like you, and don't get me wrong, Gunther, you are the man here on Raw. But right now, Cody Rhodes is my number one guy. So go out there and make him look good.
That's probably what happened. So he comes out here and that's exactly what the fuck he does. Gunther says, ladies and gentlemen, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Now, I have to say, Cody, usually I come out here and I verbally run down my opponent with all the negatives. But I must admit, I have nothing negative to say about you. Because you are the quarterback in this boom period that we're in the WWE. I'm going to stop right there. First off, he ain't a quarterback. He's more like the water boy. You know, Gatorade, water sucks, it really, really sucks. Cause water sucks, it really, really sucks. That's his fucking job. He's be out there getting Gatorade and water to the real stars in the company. It's not Tom Brady, it's not Joe Montana, it's not Peyton Manning, it's not Drew Brees, it's not Brett Favre, it's not even Tony Romo, for fuck's sake. It's more like Ryan Leaf, who is regarded as one of the worst quarterbacks of all time, who had to Google search because I'm not a football aficionado or connoisseur. And that's who Cody is. Alright, he's the Ryan Leaf of the WWE. Because for like 80% of his career, he like 85, he was a jobber. Alright? And he was like, you know, people might call me a politician. It's like, because you are. You asshole. You disingenuous prick. You're a politician because you led a successful campaign into fooling the masses into believing just because you're the son of the American dream, that's the Rose, baby, that you deserve to be the undisputed universal champion, to be the face of the company, a spot that your ass does not belong in. So yeah, you're fucking right, you are a politician. I'm so sick and tired of this fucking notion that they're trying to propagate of WWE, we're in a boom period, we're doing better than ever of all time. It's like, no, fuck you're not. Sure, you're making a shitload of money. Yeah, because you're overcharging the fuck out of your ticket prices, especially overseas, because you know that those markets are desperate now to have you guys over there for the first time ever. So that's easy money for you guys. But you're not in a boom period to where both your flagship shows are Raw and SmackDown within the same year have the lowest ratings and viewership ever of all time. You're not in a boom period to where you can even sell out the second biggest show of the year, that being SummerSlam this year, alongside other shows as well, but SummerSlam was the most notable. Alright, you're not in a boom period to where year after year, month after month, week after week, day after day, less and less people are interested in watching your product. You're not in a boom period to where you got Raw, that's been on air for at least, since like 92, 93, so almost 3 decades, has been on air, will no longer be on air come next year. Alright, that's not a boom period. But getting back to this garbage ass promo, Gunther was like, the only good thing he really said here was like, Cody, I noticed that you try to be everybody's friend, but a person like that has no true friends. which is absolutely 100% correct. He is that type of person to where he's like tries to be fake friendly to everybody. All the fans try to fool him to thinking like, oh, he's such a nice guy. He's a man of the people, but he's the type of dude that has some type of ulterior motive. Like he's not doing it out of the kindness of his heart. It's the same shit with Cena where you can just see right through the phoniness. Alright, that's just crystal clear to me and a lot of people. But some people, man, they're lost in the sauce. They're still drinking the Kool-Aid, and that's on them. Alright, you can't help everybody. You can't save everyone. Cody Perez then says how, well, what you say is my greatest weakness, I had to say is my greatest strength. As you can see on SmackDown, I don't have too many friends right now, but if I were to make an observation of the ring general, when I see you give it your all it takes is one person to keep on getting back up, to keep on fighting. Because don't forget, I'm the guy that went over on Roman Reigns ending his historic title reign at WrestleMania 40. I'm also the guy that conquered the unconquerable and the beast, Brock Lesnar. And I like how he doesn't mention how he had help at WrestleMania 40. Yeah, but he doesn't want to admit that. Nah. He thinks that, yeah, Cody and his valiant effort overcame Roman Reigns and the Bloodline all by himself. His wins over Brock Lesnar was political bullshit. He has ass kicked throughout the entire feud in all 3 matches, to where all he has to do in their last match was he gets his ass kicked like 15 minutes straight. He just pops on up like Super Rhodes that he is, hits 3 crossroads and wins the match. Garbage. Absolute garbage. Gunther then says, which is like the best shit that he said this entire time, it was like, spoken like the true secondary champion that you are. And they shake each other's hands because they respect each other, because these are 2 mid-carders in positions that they shouldn't be in. 2 peas in a pod. 2 guys who barely wrestle, who show up in suits and cut lame-ass garbage promos. So they're one and the same. Yeah, yin and yang out here. 2 guys who are holding the belts hostage and keeping way better wrestlers, more talented wrestlers down because of it. So yeah, this was easily one of the worst promos I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this. There was more glazing going on for Cody Rhodes in this one segment than you'll see from a Krispy Kreme and a Dunkin' Donuts factory all year. These 2 are the embodiment of overrated, overachieving mid-carders. Alright, the epitome of suck. And even though either of these 2 are defending their belts at Frown Jewel, I still gotta go with the ring general to go over at that show. Why? Because I hate Cody Rhodes. It's that simple. I don't hate the ring general, I just believe that there's better options to represent Raw as a World Heavyweight Champion, aka Drew McIntyre, aka LeBron Breaker, aka main event Jey Uso for instance. But I digress. So that's all for this abysmal promo. Let's move on. Next, we get a video package from Dragon Lee. And he says that last year was one of the most exhilarating best years of his life. So this dude is more than happy with being a complete and utter jobber. Moving on. Next, we get a match between LeBron Breaker and Kofi Kingston. And I'm just going to fast forward to the finish. Spear, 1, 2, 3, Braun goes over. Alright, he tries to attack Kofi afterwards. Xavier Woods comes in for the save. Braun then attacks Xavier from behind. And then we see main event Jey Uso coming out, hits a spear on Braun, then hits a super kick for good measure. And that's all that happens here. So we move on. And next we see the Terror Not Twins backstage. Alright, Rhea was like, look, like you whooped all of Judgment Day's asses. Where you got your revenge on Finn. Some you get back your world title. He was like, Mama, I like that. But as long as you got beef with Judgment Day, I got beef with Judgment Day. But I think you're right. I think it's about time I go and become the El Campeon again. Rhea says something in Spanish, Rhea says familia, they hug it out, and that's it. So we move on. We see Jimmy No Yeet Uso backstage. He's waiting for Jay Uso. Jay sees him. He says no yeet, walks away. Next, we get the match between R-Truth and The Miz. And look at the reaction that R-Truth gets here. As organic as it gets. The crowd loves it. This shit wasn't fucking piped in like you do for certain wrestlers. Alright? This is as organic and as authentic as it gets. But he beats Miz via a schoolboy roll-up for the 1, 2, 3 because of the distraction from the Final Testament, or as some people call them, the Final Testicles, or the Final Jobbers. Alright, so we see R-Truth, he's celebrating, he's happy as shit. He goes, carrying cross, fist bumps him, and he goes, get him now. So AOP throws R-Truth back into the ring, Miz hits the skull-crushing finale, and that's it. So hopefully we don't see Miz join the Final Testament, because he doesn't need the Final Testament. Alright? Why would you want to join a group of jobbers? Which is actually fitting, because come this week, come to find out, The Miz has the all-time loss record. He has the most losses in, I guess, the WWE history. It's like, damn, that's tough. Sorry, Miz. But it is what it is. We move on. We see Jimmy No Yeet Uso backstage trying to talk to main event Jey Uso Yeet. Alright? He was like, look, dog, just hear me out for a second. Jay was like, man, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of my face, man. Walks away and that's it. So no yeet for Jimmy. And now we get the main event, which is the tag team match of Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. And I'm just gonna fast forward to the finish. Alright, like fucking Tiffany tries to go for the best moonsault ever, completely misses. Alright, Rhea Ripley goes to fight Raquel on the outside. See Nia Jax coming out of nowhere, wipes them both out. Rhea Ripley gets back up, headbutts Nia, tries to go for a scoop slam or something like that, but we see Liv coming out of nowhere with a chop block. Alright, so Rhea's down, then Liv attacks Rhea, then we see Nia attack Liv. Does a Samoan drop, does yet, what she calls that shit, the Annihilator or some shit like that, to Liv in the corner, alright, and then she tells Tiffany, hey, cash in. You know what I mean? She's right there, you got the Money in the Bank briefcase, go for it. So Tiffany tries to get the briefcase, tries to get that shit cashed in, so we have a new world champion tonight, but her partner in crime, Dominic Mysterio, shows up for the save. So I like that. Because I was talking about that shit earlier, so this was good. So yeah, it was a decent tag match for what it was. Good finish, and that's it for Raw this week. So overall, it still gets a garbage day out of 10.
Garbage day!
Alright, the only good things were like fucking the tag team match of Jade and Bianca versus Birth Control, the main event finish, and yeah, that's about it. So everything else was either irrelevant, horrendous, or already happened 4 weeks ago. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on Raw this week. I know it's late. My apologies. It's busy this week. I'm trying to make up for it. Alright, so love it, hate it, comment, subscribe to the channel is all the same to me. I just want to see the engagement and the feedback from you guys. Alright, next videos will be I will be doing the Dynamite and the TNA review for this week. Alright, I have no time. I still gotta do Royal Quest. I believe that's on a Saturday. And I'll try to do, if I have enough time, knock out the women's tag team video. Alright. But wishing enough for your guys this time. So be safe, be blessed, take care of yourself, trust in God. I'm out of here. Till next time, adios.